One of the biggest questions I get asked, what dehooker tool are you using? A lot of people want to know how to use it, what it looks like, all that sort of stuff. So this episode, not only are we going to show you what it looks like, I'm going to show you how to make one pretty much for free. Check this out. Before I go into this, I'm going to start doing a competition soon at the end of November, maybe mid-December. I'm going to get a heap of gear together, so stuff we make like dehookers. I'm going to create a competition wall soon, and every time I make something, whether it's a rig, a dehooker, traces, whatever, I'm going to put it up on the competition wall, and one subscriber is going to be lucky enough to win all that gear. It's probably going to be $300 worth of stuff, and then after December, going to do the same thing in probably a couple of months after the new year. So just a shout out and thanks to everyone who's joining the channel, and let your mates know we'll be giving out some free gear to help you sharking and fishing. We do all aspects of fishing, so there'll be other stuff as well. There could be lures, there could be even small fishing reels. See how good the channel goes and see what much more we can put into it. The competition is going to be so easy. All you have to do is subscribe. That's it. Doesn't get easier than that. There's no sharing, there's no tagging. You just have to subscribe. And then as the months go on and the competition wall gets more and more full, that's what's going to be up for grabs for total free. I'm going to pay post everything. So let us know. I was thinking of something cool, like when it's ready for competition time, funniest comment wins, or best idea comment wins, something like that. So we're all interacting, whatever. But if you don't even want to do that, we will just go with the random pick of a subscriber. So let us know what you think of that idea, and if you've got an idea of keeping it simple for the competition win. Let's get on with it. So before we get right into it, I want to show you using this tool on a few sharks and how valuable they are. These are a must. You've got to look after those sharks, you've got to get that hook out. Pliers can work, a lot of people use them, I've used them before too. Can be a little bit dangerous on the fingers. It is a little bit slow, you know, having the leverage of something this long is just tenfold, helps heaps better. Got to look after these sharks and have the right gear. There you have it, guys, nice and easy getting those hooks out. It's great keeping those sharks healthy, getting the job done fast and safe. That's the most important thing. So I'm going to show you this dehooker that I have now that a mate made for me, and show you the shape of it and all that sort of thing. But then I'll show you the one we make. It's a little bit different because it's a lot easier to make. No fab work in it, besides a couple of cuts with a grinder, and everyone's got one mate that can half weld some bird crap and get it to hold. So no excuses. Let's get this video done and let's get one of these dehookers made. So here it is, guys, just your T-bar. That's, you can make it any length you want. This one actually is a little bit short. See how it doesn't stick out past the hands, but it still works fine. So the next one I'm going to make a bit longer. So then you've got your bar here welded straight into that T-bar. That goes for over 1 meter. Probably only needs to be 1 meter, but we'll measure that and see what that is for the next one we make. And then it's as simple of making a bit of a prong. So there you go there, I'll bring that in. So that focus up. Just 2 bars there. You've got that for support so that doesn't split open. We've learnt that from other stuff that we've done, so we have bent a couple and that reinforce it. A little bit ugly, mate, but hey, it's down the toothy end of the thing. It doesn't have to be pretty. She's all welded at the top down there. As I said, this one's stainless. The one we're going to make now is not going to be stainless. It's going to be mild steel that you can get from any scraps, building sites and scrap yards, things like that. So that's it. Alright, so First thing we will do is we will get some scraps, which I've always collect on bits and pieces. Recycle stuff comes in real handy. And what we've got down here is the bucket of a few scrap leftovers. So probably get the cleanest one. This one here's got a few screws in it. Use that for something else one day. That one's a good thickness. You can see the rust and bits on that. That'll come off in no time. We'll just see. This one here's a bit thinner. Actually feels a bit better. We'll go with that one. Got a screw on the end, that's alright. If we cut it there, it's going to be plenty long enough. And that is our T-bar. Let's give that a go. Alright, so we've got the T-bar part. As you can see, it's it's just scrap. But it's going to do the job fine. So we'll stick it in the vise. I'm going to cut that off about there. Plenty of room, doesn't matter if it sticks out a little bit. We're going to cut it, buff that rust off it, get it all ready for paint. Nothing special with the paint, just to kill rust, and then get it ready for the bar to weld onto here. Let's do it. Get the grinder going. Alright, so just a cheapie, mate. Get these for 40 bucks. And a new blade on it. And we're just going to cut this down. Alright, so as you can see, just cleaned it up a bit. I know you're supposed to change discs and that for cleaning and that, but I'm just showing you how simple this is and what you can get away with bare minimum tools, alright? I've just measured halfway, so let's go find our bar for the center pole. So, being a concreter, I come across this stuff all the time, so if you go to any building site like project builders and all that, therell be heaps of this stuff laying around. Always use it on site and comes in handy. So this is just a 12mm end bar. It's going to be perfect. Just cut that flat, and you get this on nearly any building site if you see any block work. Concreters, it's everywhere. Let's do it. So from here we've measured 1 meter. That's it. So 1 meter. I'm going to cut that flat right there, and the reason you want it super flat because it has to sit on that mark there. Keep this one for the next, probably get 2 dehookers out of that, so maybe for another competition down the track, a couple of giveaways, see what happens. So we're going to touch up these. So nice and flush, we're just going to make sure that that's fitting nice and flush on there, which it is. Now we can just weld that to there and we've got our T-bar and upright. So you don't need a MIG, stick welder's fine, it's just I've got the MIG. Does make a bad welder an okay welder, that's why I got the MIG. I'm not a welder by any means. I know I should be wearing longs and stuff, but we're only doing a tiny weld, so I'm not worried about it. Done plenty of it before. And let's do this. Want it nice and center. And we'll just zap that in spot. Get a few tack welds on it, then make sure she's straight. So I've done that side first, it will pull it that way. And that's looking pretty good. I'm going to do that side and then double check it all. Sweet. It's actually really good at that. So we've got our T-bar, got our bar. As you've seen, everything's scrapped so far, so just showing people that how easy it is to find stuff on job sites and get one of these made. Now, just show you there, if you're welding, you might not be able to see it's leaning that way, and I've welded this side and this side, a bit this side, so if I weld this side, it will draw that back a bit, so that'll help too. So I'll do that. It doesn't really matter, you can bend it back later, But if you see it while you're doing it, get it done. Just going to flip that around so it's just easier to get to. So I'm just going to go cool this down. Alright, so there we have it. Got a little weld in there. Not perfect, but should get the job done and should be strong as. Alright, so this is the part I like. This is different than one I've got, but it's exactly the same. You just need to be able to create that prong. So there's no fabrication in this. There's a really good trick on what you can steal. And when I say steal, steal off one of your trailers or your mum and dad's trailer, whatever. And you won't have to do any bending or anything like that. So check this little tip out. I actually learnt this off a Yankee. I hate to admit it, but yeah, did. So there's the prong we're copying there. It would be about 10 mil apart. I reckon you could even go a bit narrower. The less play, the better. So work out the hook you use most. I'm going to stick to that 8 to 10 mil gap. So what we got here, you got high tensile steel being a chain. So I'm going to steal one of these links. You can see how much chain I've got here, so I'm not going to miss one. I'm going to cut this off, and we are going to cut the end off and use the U and weld that to our bar, and that will give us that prong. And you can move it over and in to make the width the right width, because you won't use one side. If you don't have bolt cutters, just use a grinder. Like it never happened. Alright, so what I meant before is that gap. See how wide that is? That's too wide. So what you can do is just choose where you want it. Way out, way in. Further you go in, as you can see, the smaller that gap is. So we're just going to find that happy medium. Get that to focus. I'm going to find it about there. It'll be about 8 to 10 mil. I'm going to clean this little link up a bit better. It's a bit pointy and stuff. I'll flatten them off with a grinder and weld that on like so, like out there. It's good to weld it on that spine. There's a spine in the bar of these, end bar, and it's good to weld it onto that too. Not too hot. That's it. Alright, so safety gear back on. We're just going to spot weld this so I can get it exactly in the right spot, because it's not about, you know, this is the cheap way of doing it, but it gets the job done. But it's just about getting it done and being in the right spot. You want it square with the handle. So I've got the handle pretty much set, the T-bar that is, which is the handle, pretty much set square to the vise laying down like that. Oops. If you can see it from there, but here's the chain link. You want it laying flat, square with that. You don't want it down here like that. I don't know if you can see that, but I will show you when it's finished. And you'll see what I mean when I'm finished. Alright, that is tacked on. Looking good. Now to weld the rest of it. So do remember too, if you're really fussy, that chain link is galvanized, so you are supposed to grind all that back and all that sort of stuff, but the MIG welder burns right through it, so I wasn't too worried about it. So now I'm just going to touch it up with the grinder, just buff it up a bit and smooth it out, and check that gap, and just check the angles and stuff, see if it needs a tap over, but it should be really close now. And then quick little spray paint, easy as using this stuff here. It's the old kill rust. I got that on backwards, but that's what it says there, kill rust, and it's just a black, pick whatever colour you want. Right, cool this down. Alright, getting there now, just about done. As I said, this is just a cheap, quick, rough way. This is not, you know, I'm not a welder, but she'll hold and gets it done for free. And you know, these are easy to forget on the beach. You do lose a couple here and there. You'll dehook the shark, push the shark off, a couple of little waves, go over the top of these and they get covered in sand. So you don't want to be spending a lot of money on these things, and so on. So I'm just drawing this off now, and we'll give it a lack of paint with a spray can and just take a skim off the, because it's a bit rusty, this bar. So I'll take a bit of a skim off that. So that's what it looks like there. Welded that on, very basic. So you can use wire, string, rope, whatever. All I do is get a bit of wire through the T-bar, just for the painting sides of things. Get it on something a bit higher. Just got my trailer here, I'm just going to hang it off and spray it off that so I don't have to pick it up and flip it. Helps out a bit. Just one twist, I'll get her up there. Perfect. So I'll just go and get the paint. Alright, haven't got much of this left, so see how we go. As I said, you do lose a lot of them, but hey, if you don't, I've kept the last one for 2 seasons. It's just going to stop that bit of rust, and it's a bit nicer on your skin, just that thicker paint, and hey, it looks a bit better. So let's go on a closer look. Now that I've painted it, it hides my welding, so I'm happy to show you. Paint's still wet. Definitely could do with more prep work, but at the end of the day, mate, it's a dehooker. I'm not fussy with that sort of stuff. So there we go, that chain link welded on. You can see the idea there, that's going to get the hook out, no worries. And we'll wait for that to dry. And that's it, guys, that easy. Took me longer to film it than it did to make it. That's the end result. Chain link, you can choose to make that gap as wide or as narrow as you want, because the hook is going to hit the inner pole, not that side of the link. It's going to hit that bar and then that link as well. Easy done. Backyard garage style, guys. Hope it helps and keeps you safe. Timmy out.